Okay, I have taken some tracing paper and I cut out my wing design. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to work on one wing. And I take a piece of foil, wad it up, place my paper over the aluminum foil. I'm going to take my wood burning tool and I'm going to start around the edges, and around the edges I want to put a light pressure. And just very lightly touch it. And I'm going to go back, make another row. Go back on the edges. Now then, when I do the center of the wing, I'm going to do it in mostly circular motions. And I'm going to put a little heavier of a touch on the wood burning tool. And it's going to be bumpy, but you just work your tool. Now then, if you didn't want as dark as I'm making it, then you would smooth out your aluminum foil so that it's not so raised. Okay, let me put my tool down and get it up in the camera. And there's the starting of how we're going to make this wing. When you turn it over, it's pretty much has gone through. If you feel like you want some more in there on this side, you can turn it over and you can do it, but I feel like this isn't going to need it. So I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to do the rest, and I will be back and show you the next step. My paper has all been burned, and I'm going to work with one wing, and I'm going to show you the basics of how I paint it. I'm going to set these aside. I'm going to take my tracing paper and I'm going to dip it in water. When you lay it out on your table, you want to just make sure if you've got a very large air bubble underneath it, you do want to get that out. But if you have small ones, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so we're ready to put our paint on it. I'm taking some purple. My paintbrush has water, and you have to water down your paints. And you're just going to work with the paint and the water. And I'm doing just a basic, simple wing, but you can really get detailed with this. Take your paintbrush and take the paint off of your paintbrush, and that way you'll save on your paint. I'm going to take some light blue now, wet my paintbrush. I'm going to take some dark brown. Take the paint off. Clean my paintbrush. My paintbrush is going to still have water, but it's not going to be like a puddle. And I'm going to just take my paintbrush, and I'm just going to kind of work it with the paints and the water. I'm going to take some dark brown again. And I'm going to do around the edges. my paintbrush. I'm going to take a little lighter brown. Clean my paintbrush. I'm going to take some yellow. Kind of place it where you just feel to put it. There's really no form to this. I'm going to clean my paintbrush. I'm going to leave some water on it again, and I'm just going to work these colors in a little bit better. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some brown here, and I'm going to get enough on my paintbrush to where I'm going to be able to drop a drop. And I think I'm going to put it about right in here. And maybe one here. Clean my paint off. Clean my paintbrush. And I'm going to go with my yellow. And I'm going to do the same thing that I just did with the brown. Get a little bit more water. Okay, I think I have the wing pretty much the way that I want it. I'm noticing on the camera that it's really not showing up the colors, but the colors are very, very bright. I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to do the rest of the wings, and then I will be back to explain to you anything that I have done differently. And I will be back. I have them all painted, and there wasn't anything different that I did with the original wing. What I'm going to do is, I will do this off camera, but I'm going to explain to you what I do. I take my heat gun and I hold it up very, very high, and what I want to do is I just want to dry the little puddles of water, but I don't want the paper to be totally dry because you won't be able to get your paper up off your glass. If that should happen, you can always take a paintbrush, wet it down, and start going underneath it, and then just work it, and you can get it up. But if you can save that problem, it'll work out so much better. So I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to give this a dry, and then we're going to go on to the next step. I have my paper all dried, and I've pulled it up off of the glass. And then what I did was I took my wood burning tool and I went all along the edges to give it a ruffled look. That's optional. You don't have to do that, but I like doing it. And you can also take your tool and make little holes if you want to. I'm not going to do it with these. Okay, the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some baby oil, and I'm going to pour some on. And what I want to do is I want to really saturate these. I will let the baby oil soak for about 15 minutes, and then I will take a paper towel and I will really wipe off the baby oil, but you're going to have baby oil that's going to be absorbed into the tracing paper. Now the reason why I put the baby oil on it is because it actually gives the tracing paper a different feel to it, and it also gives it more of a flighty look, like a wing would be. It gives it depth. And you want to make sure, you know, check underneath and make sure that the back side is sitting in the baby oil. Okay, I'm going to let this sit for 15 minutes. Wipe it down with a paper towel, and then I will show you what the next step is. Okay, I have wiped down my wings, and I have no baby oil feel to it. What I do is when I use the paper towel, I keep doing it until my paper towel just doesn't show any more baby oil, and there's no greasy film to it or anything. But I wanted to bring this up to the camera to where see how the baby oil, trying to get that in there, but the baby oil makes it even more transparent, and it just gives it a totally different feel to it than what paper would feel like. Here's the back side. And we didn't have to paint the back sides, but if you feel like you want to paint the back sides, you can. And I also wanted to mention too that sometimes when you're in the stage of painting your wings and you let the paint dry, sometimes your paint will dry, will fade out a little bit. This one in particular didn't. You can always go back and add more paint to it. Just don't water down your paper. Just make sure that your paintbrush has enough water, and put your paint on it and keep adding to it to where you feel like you want more color or whatever. Okay, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to use a spray, and it is called webbing. I found this in my local craft store, and I thought this is going to be interesting. It took me a while to figure it out, and I'm going to try to explain it to you at this stage because I have to take this outside to do it. I found that when I take the wing and I will hold it in an angle like this, you don't want to take your spray and directly spray down on it because you'll get like clumps. So when you hold it at an angle like this and you take your spray can and you're actually going to spray the side in the direction of the side so that the webbing will actually hit the side of the wing, and it will catch it as it's going across the side of the wing. So I'm going to take these outside, give it a try, and I will be back and I'll show you the next step. I have sprayed my webbing on my wings, and I'm going to bring it up to the camera that you can see it. And I did notice I had a little rip in it, but that's okay. And here's the bottom ones. And I also came across doing something else too, and I'm going to give you the information, is that when I was having a hard time experimenting with the webbing and spraying it on the wings, what I did was I took a piece of wax paper and I sprayed my webbing on that, and then I tried to peel it up. I found that it was a little bit harder to peel up. So what I did was I just took a piece of paper and I oiled it, put baby oil on it, and then I sprayed my webbing on that. And what you can do is you can pull up the string off of your paper, and you can actually lay it on your wing in the direction that you want it in. So that you have more control over it than just spraying it in the can. But I did it this way because I wanted to introduce you to this webbing, and I thought it was really cool, and it's been a lot of fun. So the next step is I'm going to seal it. Now you can use any kind of sealer that you want. For my wings, the reason why I went for this kind of a technique is because I was trying to stay away from a plastic look or a rubber look or a cellophane paper look. So I am going to use, it's called Clear Coat High Shine Glaze. And it's going to depend on, you know, what you're looking for as far as a feel to it or a shine. So I'm going to take these outside and I'm going to spray it, and I will tell you exactly how many coats that I spray. And I will spray the front side and the back side. And we are almost finished, you guys. I know this is a lot of steps, and many might not want to go through this many steps, but for me, I find that the more steps I have, the more challenging, and I love my art when it can expand. So some of this might be for some, and some might say, oh, that's just too much work, I don't want to do it. That's fine. It's take this idea and just expand with your own. I just know it's unlimited. Okay, I'm going to go outside and I'll be back. I have put my sealer on. I did put 2 coats on each side. I have already put my wires on, and what I used for a glue is a Crazy Glue adhesive. It's like a gel, and that has always worked for me very well. So what I'm going to do is I have a fairy that I've been working on, and she is my version of Tinkerbell, and I'm going to show you what they look like in the light. So I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, here is the finished product. I put the wires on the back of the wings, and I used a very strong adhesive glue. I put these wings aren't inserted into my fairy here. I have it just kind of like hung on her. But I wanted to give you the best I can give you as far as a picture of how transparent and how the light really shines through these. And I'll turn it around to the back side. And this fairy here that I have sculpted, she is my version of Tinkerbell, and I'm going to use these wings on her. And I'm also going to be doing a tutorial on what I'm going to do with her outfit. I've got a couple of ideas, and this webbing stuff that I used, my mind's going a mile a minute. So I hope that I can have some real interesting tutorials, and I hope you liked it. You'll give it a try. It was a lot of fun. It expanded my thinking in my art, and that is what I wanted. I got the texture that I wanted. It doesn't look like rubber. It doesn't look like cellophane. I was very, very pleased with the texture of it and how transparent that it did give me. So everybody, give me a like. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more tutorials, and I'm going to be showing you everything that I have done in the past and my new ideas also. So everybody, have a great day, and hope you enjoyed.